25 years ago, and I walked down Gertrude Street and thought, I really like this place, maybe I'll have a shop here one day. My name is Llewellyn Griffiths. I am the owner of Metal Couture. My shop is on Gertrude Street, FITZROY in Melbourne. I've been making jewellery now for 40 years. I've started off in the jewellery trade making diamond clusters and very traditional rings, but I've gone off and made my own ranges and my own style. But I feel like it was very good practice because it's very precise. I put my own style into the shop. I feel like it's a reflection of me, it's a reflection of my jewellery. I've made it the perfect space to house what I do, even down to making the wrought iron handrail and the cabinets. Always liked having the bricks and mortar, so I like to have my workshop in the shop and I can see people coming in and talk to them. I don't really like this online website sort of stuff. So I use a few different techniques. I use the lost wax casting technique, which is about 3,000 years old. It's called lost wax because the wax is actually lost and it gets replaced by metal. I also use computer technology where you can digitize a shape like this and shrink it down to fit on the sides of a ring. So I do find myself working with silver mostly because it's nice pliable metal, you can heat it up and solder it. I like high carat gold because it's rich in colour and I like the contrast of the oxidized silver. I feel like I am very purposeful about what I put together. If I make a corner, I want it to be a sharp corner. Quite obsessed with making mechanisms. Tiny little locks inside rings that work. Quite often go overseas and source gemstones. I quite often will find a stone and just think, I know what I'm going to do with this, and create a ring around the stone. I do like to coordinate the colours. In particular, I like to use rose cut stones. I think my travels, the stuff that I've seen, some of the places I've been, like Prague, and seen the old cathedrals and the Gothic architecture. I love seeing things like a huge building and then just shrinking it down and making it just sit on your finger. And I find it fascinating that with all this technology of 3D printing, that we still have to go back to the lost wax casting technique. I will manipulate the wax, and the wax is very pliable, it's got a bit of give to it. Sometimes they get quite elaborate with sometimes 20 pieces of wax to make a ring. I pretty much failed all my exams at school, and I one day saw a job in the paper saying make jewellery, and I got the job. I've never done an apprenticeship, but I feel like I've been taught by some very clever people. I've sort of always rebelled against fashion, and I think, I've got my own particular style. These days, everything's so minimal that I just feel like rebelling and making it ornate and extravagant and over the top. After a bit of working the metal, I set the stones and I have a finished product. I'm quite private and I just like to sit up there in my shop and make. I don't really like being disturbed. I don't really even like talking to people actually. Because they take me away from what I want to do, and that's working.